Hey gang, Mocha Boy here. Welcome back and thanks for tuning back in. So we've got a lot of great content to cover this episode. It's been a while since I've been able to post a video. Things have been really crazy with the change in leadership and post-patch clan wars and all kinds of fun stuff. But there were some things that happened within the last couple of days that were just too cool to not share. Anyway, we got a visit from a very special clasher. I was on a business trip at the time when I happened to see his name just flash into clan chat, but we got a visit from Hulk himself, from Hulkified. And if you guys don't know who that is, he was the guy who published his strategy and base assessment techniques for the Holowiwi clan war strategy. And as he says, this is not a new strategy. This is something that's been around for some time, but he's the first person to come forward and show you how to pick apart a base and plan an attack based on known weaknesses and known flaws in base designs. So it's not really an exploit so much as it is basic strategy. Take the troops, utilize their advantages to disable or completely countermand your opponent's defenses. And in this case, with the changes in hogs, people started going over to more spread out bases to counter things like dragons, and now there's a new strategy to handle those. So he came in, we were in the middle of a clan war, he took a look at some of the bases, gave us some tips, and we'd read about the technique and the strategy, but we'd never actually tried it. And although we have a few people who have the right levels of troops to pull this off, we had zero training, so the pressure was on. He was in there, he was telling us how to go about picking apart these bases, and we had to perform. Before I get into that, there's just a couple of things I did want to share. I just wanted to give a big shout out to Reddit troopers. Again, you guys are a shining example of the Reddit clan system. And if you guys don't know what that is, just go on to Reddit or search for Reddit Clash of Clans. While clans like Hanoi are out there, playing the game on their own terms, you guys are contributing back to the community, and you're creating something. You're not taking anything away from anyone. You're giving back to the community, and you're creating something. So when the dust is settled and we've all faded away, people will remember people like Hulkified and his contributions to the community. People will just remember Hanoi for, a bunch of donkey-licking pig fuckers that they are. But anyway, story for another day. Again, you are undefeated in our hearts. Keep the push on. We'll congratulate you when you cross the 100 win mark. So that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at this recent clan war. We were matched up with a clan called Lebanon. It was a 50-on-50 war. They had 42 wins. We had 18 at the time, but we are a casual raiding guild. What makes us a little different than everybody else is that we focus our time on working with every member to make sure that they understand the basics of trophy armies and how to deploy them. Things like base assessment, things like custom armies and the like. But that's all stuff that we'll get into. But anyway. Hulk came in, took a quick look at all of the targets. We are going to cover, let's see, replay not available. This is exactly what I thought would happen. It's a good thing we got the recordings. So anyway, we'll be taking a look at a few of these bases. I'm going to share my scouting notes with you. Obviously there's no way we're going to be able to do 50, but I'll try to pull through this as quickly as possible. This is one base that I put together a custom army that was inspired by Hulk's comment about if you want to 3-star a Town Hall 9 base, you've got to get creative. And this is all especially after the the bomb buff / hog nerf. 3 stars are still available. This is what Supercell wants you to do. They want you to be creative about going in and picking apart targets. Now, as far as this base was concerned, I've always wanted to use P.E.K.K.A.s and hogs. In this particular case, I used just about every single troop there was. I used loons, hogs, P.E.K.K.A.s, giants, and witches for different things, but I'll go into that in a little bit of detail. I don't really count this base as a huge win because this is a crap base. No double bombs, no countermeasures for hogs. There was this base was going to get 3-starred no matter what. And then out here you have the heroes exposed. There's no room internally for any double bombs. We'd already sniffed out a few of the external ones, and obviously, this is a trap here, so we knew how to counter this base, but I'm going to show you how we did that. So 21 was one that we tried to Holowiwi, and you'll see, we'll start off the replays with this one. Bacon Maker, everybody knows this design. And unfortunately, I didn't watch Hulk's scouting notes, so I failed miserably on this base. I had the base beat, but then I forgot to do one step, and I'll show you what that step was that I missed a little bit later. But thankfully for me, I played with a bunch of guys that are way better at this game than I am, and they were able to go in and clean up my mistakes and a few other bases. But this was one that this was a standard Holowiwi base, edge to edge, defensive and building placement. No room to deploy except around the edges, but all of the air defenses centrally located. Okay, so here we have this was target number 26 in standard standard anti-dragon layout. And you know that because it's got edge-to-edge placement of all of the defenses. But what's unfortunate about this is, what makes this the perfect Holowiwi base is that the air defenses don't overlap any of the exterior defenses. And mind you, this was built to keep the town hall, the clan castle from triggering without having to go in and sacrifice a lot of the army. We had developed a lot of strategies to bust through these types of bases, but lately we've just been saying go wipe, just go wipe. But there's a lot cheaper way to do it, and it's a lot more effective and doesn't rely on brute force, but precision tactics. So in this particular case, with every Holowiwi attack, you want to make sure that you're doing you're planning for a 1v1 attack. So that is the most efficient way to do this. One balloon there, one balloon there, one balloon there, and you want to target the air defenses as much as possible. Whiz towers, archer towers, and these are all low level, so one apiece will do the trick. And in most cases, one balloon will be enough to take, say, that archer tower out and then pay a visit to that cannon, or this whiz tower and then pay a visit to that cannon, and even that cannon, because it's just out of range of that air defense. So for probably 17, 18, 19, 20 loons, you could probably remove every single one of the exterior defenses and leave nothing but the core for your clan castle, all your hogs, and 10 to 15 is more than enough. 4 heals, 4 spells, possibly a rage. Depending on the level of the defenses, you'll want to swap out 1 heal for a rage. That's one of the things that I did, and I'll show you that later. But yeah. We paid a couple of visits to this base, and there were a bunch of guys that wanted to practice, so we opened it up and said go practice on the base, see if you can get the deployments down, and then we'll go hunting on our academy night for more of these bases. So total loadout for this was something like, I want to say about 20 loons, 14, 15 hogs, 2 witches, an archer, and a couple of archers, and then just some support troops. The one thing that Hulk kind of glazed over in his video was one extremely important step that we hadn't picked up on earlier. But when you trigger the CC, when you trigger the clan castle, and they start to pour out, or if they're just out, just remember the next troop that you drop, if it's a witch, it doesn't matter if that witch is spawning skeletons; they're going to come for that witch. So don't you have to put something else down before you drop your witches. And this goes for any clan castle lure. Once the troops are out, the next troop that you place down is the one that they're going to target, and you don't want them targeting the witches. Hulk was right about 2 or 3 witches is more than enough. I do 3 just because I'm still learning the tactic, and 3 gives you a lot of room to maneuver. But it really comes down to your hogs removing the last bit of defenses internally, and then the wizards just running in and cleaning up. But what he did say about having your hogs survive is absolutely true. You need them, their speed, their ability to jump over the walls to be able to clean up the base once all is said and done. So you will see you'll see those attacks in just a bit. So anyway, let's let me hang on 1 second. Alright, so here's the first replay. This was mine. This was a failed attack because, again, this was the first time I've ever tried this strategy. And, there were a million things going through my head. Even though I had rehearsed the finger placements, it didn't matter because I forgot one critical step, and that was luring out the CC. I was going through, dismantling the defenses, thinking to myself, oh, this is going really well. And then all of a sudden, I see troops starting to pour out of the clan castle, and you know, that's when I realized that I had dumped one too many hogs and completely forgot to pull out the clan castle. But anyway, my mistake, lesson learned. I'll do better next time. But like I said, the guys were able to come in here and clean up my mess after I left this. So so hang on. So let's take a look at this now. As far as running this base, what's tricky about this is you have to account for tanking, and that is to say that this. Hang on a second. Okay, so when you're planning this out, typically what I do, and this is just even with my own ballooning, if I'm going up in air defense, I'll deploy 2 distractions here to get that guy plugging away there, which will give these 3 guys some time to sneak up on that air defense and then pummel it. Now, hopefully, typically in a scenario like that, 2 will be enough to take out that whiz tower, 1 to tank, 1 to kill, and in this case, 2 of these will be enough to take out, to tank for the 3rd, which will take out this guy, and then hopefully the 4th. But in this case, I ended up dropping an extra 1 anyway. Now, what I did that was a little risky on this was that I deployed with 2 fingers. So I deployed. This is a symmetrical base, so I deployed on both sides of the base at the exact same time, kind of like this, like 1, 2, and then 1, 2, and then just kept moving. And it's a lot for your brain to process, and you'll see what a great idea that was for me in just a sec. So let's see here. So going through 2-finger deploy, going for the whiz tower. So in this case, the Expo is already starting to plug away at that balloon, but I'm able to take out that air defense. I did not have enough to take out this this air defense because my balloons went in a different direction. So at this point, most of the defenses are down. I did miss a couple here, and I'm looking for an ingress point for the hogs. This base is still 3-starable, even with just a short group of hogs. I realized this guy's undefended, so I try to take him out. I realized that guy's undefended, so I try to take him out, but then I realized the Expo's there, which just causes a cascade failure at this point because I completely forget about the CC, and then this is where just things go to hell. At this point, I realized my mistake. I've got about 3 hogs left, and the clan castle's poured out. These guys are going through and finishing up the rest of the defensive structures. All I have at this point is my clan castle, my 2 heroes, 4 spells, and 3 hogs. So, I mean, this is pretty much a failed raid, but just watch. I mean, we're at 24%. Bases don't work really well without any defenses, and you're going to see why in just a sec. So, the wizards are out. They're starting to peel through the base. The witches have started spawning their skeletons. The heroes are out. They're going to start pummeling away at different things. Now, I was able to pull about 73% on this base, or 70-something% on this base, and that was with a mistake. Imagine what you would have done if, I had this base beat. I just had to remember to do 1 extra thing, and then I would have been fine. So, it sucks for me, but what are you going to do? Now, this next replay, hang on a second. All right, so this next base, you did see this earlier in the earlier scouting reports. Again, same deal here. These air defenses are internal, Expos are central, and they don't cover any of the external defenses. This is a perfect base to do a 1v1 attack. In this particular case, there were a couple of deployment issues with the anti-CC group stage, and you'll see what I'm talking about once we get to that phase. But as far as dismantling this base, it's stupid simple. 1 loon for every every air defense, and then in most cases those air defenses will also be able to take out the cannon. So in this case, 1 loon, excuse me, 1 loon for this guy, then he'll go over to there, and then over to there, pretty much unmolested. There should be a Tesla somewhere in here. 1 balloon, 1 balloon, 1 balloon, 1 balloon, 1, and then one of these guys will veer over to that cannon. It depends on which you drop first, and then 1, 2. So just counting these up: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know, and then just maybe an extra 5 or 6 just in case something goes bonkers. But once you get that, you know, once you get those external defenses down, there's almost nothing between you and the core of the base to stop you, because you know, a lot of these external defenses have room for double giant bombs. Well, maybe not there, but something there, something there, something there. There could be a bomb right there, could be a bomb right there, possibly even right there. But typically, what people do is they'll put, you know, typically what people will do is they'll ring their TH with Teslas here. So probably a bomb there, probably a bomb there, and then a double bomb somewhere on the exterior of here. So let's take a look at this replay and watch how this all unfolded. Now, mind you, this was this particular member's second ever try at this, and this was after, you know, Hulk coming in and you know, giving him a couple of tips with how to attack the base. So he was able to come in here, and unfortunately this was a timing issue, and Hulk had mentioned this. You know, a lot of these types of raids will come down to the last few seconds, so you have to be Johnny on the spot, and you have to deploy your troops extremely quickly. You know, don't wait to watch and see what happens. Deploy everything and then assess as you go. In this particular case, he had 6, 7, 8 loons survive, and they did double duty and taking out the entire set of exterior defenses and then pulling the clan castle. Now in this case, he dropped his archers way high, but then he dropped his witches just a little bit into the aggro range of those archers. So unfortunately, they were able to target one of them and take one of them down. And this is one of the reasons I like to bring 3. But this is just, it's a deployment issue, not a big deal. That's easily fixable with practice. But at this point, everything's down. He's going to work trying to break the ring and direct everything into the core of the base. And in this particular case, there's just one defense left, but smartly, he holds back the rest of his hogs until that's down so they don't get distracted. But then once they're in the core, that's it. It's, you know, they just go to town. This is a pretty low-level AQ, pretty low-level BK, so they can survive through the heals. And it doesn't matter what's in there. They're just gonna tear everything to shreds. And yep, so bomb, there's another bomb there. I mean, at this point, you know, it's just all about dropping the heals. And, you know, Kurt's learning this just like the rest of us. He probably realized he had a few extra troops left over and said, oh, yeah, better get these guys into the fight. So, so yeah. Again, great job for your second try ever. This was, you know, pretty amazing raid. We'll definitely refine this over time. It's just a matter of time and practice. So let's see. Okay, so for this next base, we have Montresor coming up, and this is one of the. This base is what we call a hybrid moat/crab base. We call it a crab base because of these external pockets. I mean, there's lots of derivatives of this, but it's the same concept. Only it combines a couple of different base designs to form what should be an anti-dragon and anti-hog base. What it is not, you know, and this is because of the placement of the defenses, is an anti-Holowiwi base, which completely capitalizes on the fact that a lot of these defenses don't overlap a lot of these exterior defenses. So in this case, planning this out, I forget what number base this was, but again, these are pretty low. These are pretty low defenses. You can do 1, and this guy will probably zip over to there. 2, he may penetrate there, may go there. Tough call because they're pretty close. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this is one of the things that Hulk told you. Mind you, notice here that they're not flush. You have to be very careful with deployment here, because if you deploy too close to this cannon, this guy may end up going in that direction. So, you know, this is always this kind of offset here down to this side will ensure that the trigger radius of this balloon hits that tower first. So for this first round, we're looking at 1, 2, 3, just to be safe, 4, 5, 6. You'll need you know, an extra loon here because this guy's going to be peppering away there. 8, 9. and then there's Teslas in here somewhere. I forget where. And then yeah, drop and assess. At that point, you should have the exterior covered, and then it's just a matter of just running into the center and taking care of what's left. And as far as double bombs are concerned, let's see, double bombs, probably Teslas here on either side. Double bombs, there aren't too many pockets for them, but there are probably a lot of anti-dragon measures. You know, say right about in there, possibly right about in there. This base has the town hall offset to the northwest, so you'll probably find a lot of anti-dragon measures up here, here, possibly here. Anyhow, at least if you were a smart base designer, that's what you would do. So yeah, let's go ahead and replay this and see how Mont did this. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect positioning. You know, it's a long flight time to get to those. So yeah, this one expo is going to give this guy trouble, but not going to be an issue, not going to be a factor there. Yeah, and again, because the defenses are really outside of that ring of internal defenses, there's nothing to stop these loons from penetrating in and then pulling the clan castle. So here, now notice what I mentioned earlier about the order that you have to drop everything in. He got the witches out early, and thankfully they were able to start spawning skeletons right away. So you know, those were able to stop the CC and just completely obliterate them with the help of the wizards. At this point, he dumps his CC. He's coming in from 2 different angles, and this is always a great idea to do with these bases, because you want everything splitting their damage. That is an ideal situation. It's an ideal end result for attacking any base. If you can get them to split their DPS, your troops will survive longer, and they'll survive to take out the entire base. But in this particular case, I mean, again, non-issue. Anything that's in that core is just going to get absolutely shredded once the hogs make it into there, because you've got your clan castle, you've got your heroes, you've got 4 spells, you know, and if you got a rage, forget it. I mean, it's just game over. So amazing job with this. Mont goes down as the first one in our clan to pull this off pretty successfully, and he almost looked relaxed doing this. So pretty fantastic job there. Okay, so let's see. Right, so this last replay, I want to spend a little bit of time explaining some of the thought process behind this. If there is any one thing that you take away from Hulk's message and him sharing his strategies with us, it's that one of the reasons that Troopers is as effective as they are and why they won the past 57 matches is because they build the army to fit the base. That is to say, they build custom armies that exploit specific weaknesses in the base. They spend a lot of time picking these bases apart and understand, you know, where the kill zones are, where the weaknesses are, how to exploit those weaknesses, and you know, how to get creative with your troop compositions to be able to overcome them. And they work as a team, you know. So they'll send in a team of scouters to sniff out bombs, and they'll use that intelligence to go in and improve their second round of attacks. This is one of the reasons that they are as deadly as they are and as successful as they are. With them sharing their strategies with the world, you know, inadvertently that will end up making their job a little bit tougher. But in the same vein, that is what this game is about. If it wasn't going to be them, it was going to be somebody else. At least here they get to control the message. So again, kudos to you guys. So for this base, craptastic base, but I wasn't going to be paying it. I wasn't going to be taking it lightly, simply because these guys have had 42 wins, and you know, anytime you encounter a base this simple, something's up. And in this particular case, I was wrong. There's nothing was up. It was a crap base, and I was able to 3-star it. But earlier scouting reports noted giant bombs there, and there. So really easy to be able to counter those. Now here was the problem. Because we knew where the big bombs were, we knew that we could hog this base, because the bombs weren't going to be an issue. And hogs are not dead. Just get them to 5 and you'll be fine. In this particular case, you would approach this just like you would any other hog raid. Pull the CC, deal with them, and then launch your raid. Now in this particular case with the new hero AI, I did something just a little bit different, and that was I deployed P.E.K.K.A.s on this side to take them out. And P.E.K.K.A.s are extremely efficient for deleting heroes. You know, one level 3 P.E.K.K.A. raged will one hit a level 10 AQ, and you know, maybe 2 or 3 hit a Barbarian King. They're just phenomenal for that if you can get them to them fast enough. And the important thing there is that if you find an exposed hero, maybe not here, but maybe, you know, something that is triggerable from the exterior of the base, deploy the P.E.K.K.A.s to take aggro from them and distract them long enough so that they don't kill your hogs. So we've done that. This is about the 3rd time I've used this composition specifically to exploit this type of weakness in a base design, and that's, you know, that exploit is distracting the heroes long enough for your boys to go in there and get the job done. So in order, the way it's going to work is I'm going to drop. And if you're looking for a name for this, it's let's see, Holowiwi wipe. And was there anything else? Oh no, there was a giant in here also too. So yeah, Holowiwi wipe Peggy. I don't know what. Anyway, what it is I use 2 giants here to dump the clan castle because collectively they have more hit points than the hogs. I used balloons here because all I needed was 1 balloon to take out, or maybe 2, I forget, to take out that air defense, archer tower. And I took that out specifically to clear this area so that I could delete the clan castle. So in order, it's going to be balloon, giant, and then an archer here to plink away at that builder hut. And then witch, when the skeletons form a wall, then the wizards right behind them. Delete the CC, launch your hog riders in 3 strings, and this is a good practice to get into the habit of. If you deploy in 3 strings, it splits the defending DPS. So you don't have 3 cannons raining down on 1 hog. You have essentially 1v1 attacks, and the hogs can survive long enough to get to the first heal. And they will just run through this base in a serial fashion. This is very simple for figuring out where the heals are going to be. 1 heal there, 1 heal there. And when they get about to the 50% line, that's where you deploy your P.E.K.K.A.s to delete the heroes and hopefully distract a couple of the defenses, giving the hogs enough time to finish the job. So let's watch that replay. All right. So balloon there, 2 balloons, right? Because I knew something like that was going to happen. 2 giants there. I actually forgot about this giant bomb, but you know, I like to say that I knew where it was and I pre-triggered it because I'm just that good. Archers down. The witches are starting to spawn skeletons. The wizards go to work because you know, one of the nice things about skeletons is they bunch up the clan castle troops, giving your wizards a nice one-shot, 1 kill, 1 shot and 20 kills. So at this point, they're going to work. I drop these 2 hogs here to take out this archer tower to ensure that none of these hogs push over onto the side. I want them going into the core. So that guy's down. These guys have nowhere left to go except for straight into the core. I start dropping my heals. Now this is the one time where it makes sense to use a rage. They got a lot of buildings to process and they have to do it in a very short amount of time. So, you know, because every second that's out there is DPS raining down on them. So that this is useful for taking down Expos, useful for taking down Infernos, or just useful for taking down clusters of defenses in the core. So consider that as a part of your spell package when you're planning your loadouts for super concentrated DPS cores. The P.E.K.K.A.s are down. They deleted the heroes, triggered off both of those double bombs. At this point, all the defenses are down. It's game over for this guy, and we go in and collect 3 stars. So it was a custom army for a crap base, yes, but you know, probably just shorten this, shorten that name to Hope, and that's just Hogs and P.E.K.K.A.s. This is the 3rd time I've used a very similar composition, and it's used to exploit the weakness of easily accessible heroes, and you can even use it in other scenarios where we're looking. You know, we you know, because of Hulk's videos, we now have a different way of looking at the bases to be able to pick them apart for very specific weaknesses and then deploy the right troops to take advantage of those weaknesses. So that wraps us up. I know it's a lot of information to process, but this is the way clan wars work in our clan. You know, we spend a lot of time talking, and a very short amount of time reading. So yeah, this was the aftermath of the war with Lebanon. We were able to pull off a 20-point lead against a team that had 42 wins to our 18, taking us to 19. And you know, we did so using a barrage of different attacks. The one thing that sets apart our clan and our abilities is that every single player in this roster has at least 2 or 3 attacks that they can deploy, and they're adding to those playbooks. We're adding to that playbook every day. You know, we don't win every one of our matches, but we win a lot of them. And we're doing really well. Proud of the guys. Again, proud of Hulk and Reddit Troopers and everything that you guys have done. You guys are creators. You're not takers. Keep plugging away. We'll congratulate you when you cross the finish line at 100 wins. So take care. Peace out, and let me know if you have any questions.